canapes or the tarts. So here I've just taken about 1.5 cup of all-purpose flour maida. I've just added a pinch of salt, 2 tablespoons of frozen butter, and I'm just going to mix everything till it starts resembling some breadcrumbs. This is very important to get the right consistency for the canapes or the tarts. Now I'm just going to use about 3 or 4 tablespoons of very cold water, and I'm going to knead all of this to form a nice stiff dough, and we're going to rest this dough for at least 15 minutes. Now after 15 minutes after the dough has rested, which is very important, we're just going to roll it out. Dust your surface with some maida or all-purpose flour and just roll it out to about 1/2 inch of thickness. And then using any round object, just cut some rounds. Now the next step is to just grease the molds with some butter, because that will help in demolding the molds, the canapes or the tarts much easier. And then just insert these rounds and just press them so that they get the shape of the molds, and just take off any of the extra dough that is there at the rims and just give it a shape and press it down with another mold so you get a perfect canopy or a perfect tart. So we're going to do this with all the rest of the canapes. Now this is a really good time to preheat your oven to 180 degrees Celsius for about 10 minutes. Preheating the oven is very important. Now if you can't get your hands on these type of tart molds, you can also use the silicone ones which are available. Just place them on your baking tray and just bake them for about 5 to 10 minutes, but keep an eye on them because every oven has a different heating capacity. And then once they're out, let them completely cool down to room temperature before you demold them. So now that our tarts are ready, we're going to prepare the filling. They're just a 3-ingredient filling. Here I have 200 ml. Okay, this is the lime juice, about 1/4 cup of fresh lime juice, 200 ml of fresh cream, and 200 ml of condensed milk. Now it's very important to whisk the cream till you get nice stiff peaks. So use an electric whisk or use a hand whisk and whisk it very well. And then once you get the stiff peaks like this, we're just going to add the lemon juice to the condensed milk, mix it up well, whisk it in well. Now you can add as much or as little of the lemon juice as you like, and then just add it to the whipped cream and just give it a good mix. So if you want to go a little less on the lemon juice, you can cut down the lemon juice. And then you just have to fill up these tarts or these canapes, and then we're just going to refrigerate this for about 30 minutes, or you can even place it in your freezer for about 15 minutes. They set really quick. And once you've filled up all of them, just give them a nice tap down so that they get very even, or they get evenly spread in the tarts. And then we're just going to put them in our refrigerator to set for about 15 to 20 minutes in the freezer, or 30 minutes in the refrigerator, and then just decorate them with some tutti frutti or any decoration that you would like. And you have to serve them chilled, so keep them in your refrigerator, and when you're ready to serve, just take them out of the refrigerator and serve, because that's the best way to have it. And this is a real delicious dessert recipe, so you can serve it to your guest after a nice festive meal. They're definitely going to be impressed. And also another tip here, if you have extra left of the filling, just put it into a airtight container and freeze it, and it's just lemon ice cream basically, and it's so delicious. So I hope you liked today's recipe. It's a pretty simple recipe, and the end result is really very, very delicious. So I hope you try it out. So friends, let's make these delicious oats choco chip cookies. Now here I'm going to grind 1 cup of oats to a very fine powder. Now I'm going to transfer this to a large mixing bowl to which we're going to add the rest of the ingredients. Starting with 1 teaspoon of baking soda, whisk the 2 ingredients well together. Remember, this is cooking soda or baking soda. Now I'm going to take half a cup of butter, which is at room temperature, in another bowl, and I'm going to add 1 cup of brown sugar. Now, if you can't get your hands on brown sugar, you can use regular sugar too. Add 2 teaspoons of vanilla essence. But if you can get your hands on brown sugar, there's nothing like it because choco chip cookies are generally made with brown sugar. Here I'm going to add 1 egg. And nowadays it's easily available, brown sugar, online or in stores. Whisk all the wet ingredients well together. And now we're going to add the wet ingredients to our dry ingredients. Mix everything really well. Now you can buy choco chips, but what I did is I just took a bar of chocolate, that is a milk chocolate, and just made it into small cubes like this. And now I'm going to add half a cup of just regular oats. They're not ground, just oats, so you get that lovely texture. Again, fold all the ingredients. Now, this is a real healthy snack to give your kids to school. Cover and refrigerate this for 2 hours. This is very important that you keep it aside for 2 hours because we want all the ingredients to really come together very well. So don't skip this part of refrigerating it for 2 hours. Now you can preheat your oven to 190 degrees Celsius for about 10 minutes. Now I'm using an ice cream scoop so that I get, even shaped cookies. You can use a regular tablespoon, or you can just eyeball it with your, eyeball it and just try to make them all evenly looking. And keep some space between them because they do, expand. And line your baking tray with some baking paper, and I'm just putting some pieces of the chocolate on top. Now if you get choco chips, the large ones, you can use that, but I like this because this chocolate, when it melts when it bakes and melts, it's amazing. And now bake this at 190 degrees Celsius for 10 minutes. And here you can see how they've spread out, and their lovely choco chip cookies, which are so healthy, are all ready to eat. Today's lovely honey bell like cakes. So here I have 3 eggs. This is 1 teaspoon of vanilla essence mixed with 1 teaspoon of honey. This is 3 tablespoons of milk. This is about 3/4 of a cup of butter at room temperature. This is 1/4 cup of all-purpose flour or maida, 3/4 cup of icing sugar, a teaspoon of baking powder. So those are our ingredients. That's all we require. Now I'm going to add the milk to the eggs. We are also going to be adding a mixture of honey and vanilla essence, and we're going to whisk the mixture together. Now you could increase the amount of honey to 2 teaspoons also, but I like to keep it a little bit less. I don't want the honey to overpower the flavor of this dish. Now I'm going to mix up all the dry ingredients. So I'm adding my baking powder to the all-purpose flour maida, and I'm just going to mix it in together. Now we're going to add the icing sugar a little at a time and whisk everything well together. So I mixed in about half of the icing sugar first, and now I'm going to pour in the rest of the icing sugar and mix everything well together. So here we have all our dry ingredients together and give everything a good mix. So now, since all our dry ingredients are nice and mixed together, we're going to add our butter, which has to be at room temperature. And then we're going to fold in the butter into the dry ingredients. They have to get in well, mixed up well. That is, the butter and the dry ingredients should be mixed up very, very well. And then we're going to add half of our wet ingredients, and we are going to give everything a good mix. Now you can switch to a whisk. We found that the whisk was much more helpful once we added the wet ingredients. And then we're going to add the remaining of the wet ingredients mixture. Now you will realize that this batter is a little on the thicker and denser side. It's not very, very liquidy or light. It is a little on the denser side. But that's how we want the cake batter to be. So give everything a good mix so that all the ingredients get mixed up very, very well. Now this would be a good time to preheat your oven to 180 degrees Celsius. Now I'm going to leave the measures of everything in the description box below. Now you get these type of cake molds in this long honey bell kind of shape, honey bell cake shape. So just take a scooper and just, or any spoon, a regular spoon, and just scoop in the mixture. Don't worry if it's not all very neat, because once we tap down the baking tin, everything gets settled very well. So just fill that in. I'm just showing you a close-up of how I'm filling in the mixture. And here we have about 15 of these honey bell type of cakes, and I'm going to put them in my oven, and I'm going to bake them for at least 30 minutes at 180 degrees Celsius. Now you will see how beautifully they keep changing color, and they get a lovely nice dark brown coating on the top. And now we're just going to test them by poking a knife, and if a knife comes out nice and clean, that means your cakes are all ready. So it took me exactly 25 minutes in my oven, but every oven is different. So now we're just going to let them cool on a rack like this. Let them completely cool down. And our honey bell kind of cake is all ready to enjoy. So once it has cooled down, you can just take off the paper wrapping. Excuse the pink color on my hand. I was preparing some icing and I got a little bit of color on my fingers. And now you can see it's a little bit warm still, but once you break it, it's so soft on the inside and it is so very, very delicious. So now you can make your own honey bell cakes at home. You can even decorate them with some icing. And it's so soft and so moist and just perfect.
Hi everyone, this is Akshata from Akshata's Recipes. Hope all of you are doing great and fine. Today's recipe is a very simple sponge cake recipe. It's very easy to make with just a few ingredients. Now before we go ahead into the recipe, I'd like to mention over here a few key points you need to take care of if you really want that amazing, moist, spongy and light sponge cake. Now first of all, when you're separating your yolks and the whites, you have to be extremely careful that none of the yolk part goes into the whites, because even if a little bit of the yolk goes into the whites, the cake is not going to rise. I have done it before and it's been a real letdown. So when you're separating your egg yolks and your egg whites, be extremely careful. Secondly, once your cake is ready, now we're going to bake this cake for a longer time, that is 60 minutes on 150 degrees Celsius. So once you put in the toothpick or a knife and it comes out clean, your cake is ready. But sometimes the top of the cake doesn't really give you that lovely golden brown color that you're looking for. So at this time, what you need to do is you need to turn your oven function from the bake function to the grill function, and even increase the temperature to around 180 to 200, but watch the cake carefully during this time, because otherwise it could even get burnt on the top. So depending upon your oven, you can grill it for about 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. Depends on what your oven, how much time your oven takes to give you that lovely golden brown color on the top. And to make this recipe easier, what I have done is I have given all the measurements in tablespoons rather than cups. So please stick to the measurements if you want that amazing sponge cake. So we can head straight ahead into the recipe. But before we do that, to anyone who's coming to my channel for the first time, please do hit that red subscribe button. Would really appreciate it. And do visit my channel. I have more than 170 recipes at the moment, and a few vlogs too. For my subscribers who have really believed in me and subscribed to my channel, guys, I thank you from the bottom of my heart, and I really appreciate you guys subscribing to my channel and believing in me, and posting all those amazing comments. I mean, that really keeps me going, and I want to do so much more for my channel and share so many more easy and quick recipes with all of you. Do let me know in the comments box below how your cake turned out. Do let me know what recipes you are really looking for, so I can share those recipes with all of you guys. So without much further ado, let's just jump straight ahead into this amazing sponge cake recipe.
Okay friends, now for the recipe, in a bowl I'm going to take about 5 tablespoons of melted butter. Now to this we are going to add about 2 tablespoons of milk. Now we are going to add 2 tablespoons of icing sugar. and we're going to whisk these 3 ingredients well together. Now ensure that your icing sugar is really very fine. If you're grinding the icing sugar at home, then do sieve it, because we want a very smooth texture to this sponge cake. Now we are going to add about 6 tablespoons of all-purpose flour or maida. You can measure out all your ingredients and keep them ready before you start the recipe. And now we're going to mix this very nicely till everything comes together. Now this is going to be a little bit of a thick batter. So just see that everything gets well integrated. Now we're going to add 3 egg yolks. And again we're going to whisk the entire mixture. Like I said before, it's going to be a little bit on the thicker side. Now for this recipe, we're going to refer to this part as the yellow mixture. Now in a larger bowl, we're going to take the egg whites, 3 egg whites, and like I said before, ensure that there's not even a little bit of the yolk in this egg white. Now we're going to squeeze about 1/4 of a lemon, and you're going to keep about 6 tablespoons of icing sugar, 5 tablespoons of icing sugar ready, and we're going to keep adding the icing sugar gradually as we whisk this egg white mixture. Now if you have an electric mixer, it does help. It your work gets done faster, but otherwise you can also use your whisk. You'll get a good workout for your arms because it takes a little longer with the whisk rather than the electric mixer or electric whisk. So we're going to beat this, and I suggest that you put a timer of 5 minutes to 7 minutes, because you have to beat this till the end. It starts resembling soft peaks. So like I actually put a timer of 5 minutes on my phone. Now after 5 minutes of beating it, you can see that it has got nice and thick. The consistency has completely changed of the egg white mixture. You can actually get soft peaks of this mixture. Now what we are going to do is we're going to take a little bit of this egg white mixture and put it into our yellow mixture, just a little bit. Then we're going to whisk everything well together. And once everything is very well mixed together, we are going to pour this mixture into the white mixture. Now you want to get everything inside, all of it. And now what we have to do is we have to fold this mixture, not just mix it, but actually fold it in this motion, in one direction. And it has to be done for 18 to 19 times, because this is also very key so that we get a lovely airy sponge cake. So you have to fold it in very well till the whites and the yellows all come together and you get a very even mixture. Now at this time you can preheat your oven at 150 degrees Celsius for 10 minutes. This is also very key. You need a preheated oven. Now I'm going to add about half a teaspoon of vanilla essence. Again, fold it in. Now also have your cake tin prepared, that is lined with some baking paper, grease paper or parchment paper. I prefer using a square cake mold for my sponge cake, but you can use any one of your choice. And now just pour this entire mixture into the cake mold evenly so that it goes into every corner of the cake mold. Get all that mixture in there. These silicone spoons really help, if you want to get all the mixture out. They are available at any baking store. And now we're going to bake the cake at 150 degrees Celsius for 60 minutes. You can see that it keeps rising. And here, friends, after 60 minutes, our cake is all ready. So now all we have to do is demold our cake. First, let the cake cool down before you demold it for at least 5 minutes. Then you can take off the baking paper from the sides. And then all we have to do is cut up the cake into small square-sized bites. Even the aroma of the cake is so amazing. I mean, when you're baking a cake, the entire house just, you just get the lovely cake smell all over the place. And that is so tempting. You just feel like digging in and having a big bite. So you can see our cake is nicely done. So that the knife is just sliding through easily. And now if you take a piece, you can see that it's so soft and spongy and moist and light. It's just perfectly done. So I hope you all like this recipe. I hope you will try out this recipe and let me know in the comments box below as to how did your sponge cake turn out. I couldn't resist, so I just had to. I hope you liked today's recipe as well as today's video, and if you would like to see more videos like this, then don't forget to leave this video a big thumbs up. Also, by clicking the thumbs up icon. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and become a part of Akshata's recipes. Once you have subscribed, there is a small little bell icon that will pop up, so just click on that. That way, whenever I put up a new recipe or a new video, you get a message for the same. So on that note, I'll say bye and I'll catch you in my next video sooner than you think. This is Akshata saying bye, take care, stay healthy, stay fit, be kind and loving to one another. So till we meet again, bye.